How's it going, everyone? Welcome to some more major ARK news. And we finally got our answer. It is Extinction that is coming out next. The estimated release date of December 16th, which is a Monday. I'm willing to bet if it does get delayed, it will probably be delayed to sometime later that week. But who knows, it could be even later than that. Hopefully not. Hopefully we get to close out the year with Extinction. And if not, then, well, that just means, we start the new year with Extinction, you know? But yeah, what did Wildcard have to say? Well, this is what they had to say. Emerging from the adrenaline of Aberration Ascended, we're eager to announce the next thrilling chapter in the Ascended saga, Extinction Ascended, launching December 16th. Whether you're a veteran or new player, Extinction is where the ARK story reaches its climactic battle for survival. Set in a ruined Earth, overrun by titanic creatures, survivors must scavenge, build, and tame powerful allies to face the ultimate challenge, the Colossal Titans. Get ready for the fight of your life in this vast post-apocalyptic world. Extinction is a really cool map. I really enjoy it. It is, in my opinion, my second favorite story map. At least when it came to ASE. When it comes to ASA, you know, until all the story maps have been released, I think I'll do a ranking, because when it comes to Genesis 1 and Genesis 2, they kind of divert away from this main story. But who knows, Extinction could have a new ending that makes the transition into Genesis 1 more appropriate, because in ASE, Genesis 1 and 2 seemed like the sequel to ARK, which they ended up not being. They ended up being a continuation. So the Ascension cutscene for Extinction, maybe it's been edited a little, so the transition to Gen 1 makes a little more sense. Who knows? But anyway, with that comes the final installment of Bob's Tall Tales, The Wasteland War. This post-apocalyptic adventure is filled with high-octane, Titan-slaying tribes celebrating madness. Explore the wastes using new modular-built battle cars, or redecorate your base to be a ramshackle outpost. Clash with rival tribes in a battle for dominance using the new territorial ownership structures, or search for lost tech traits to further upgrade your weapons with the help of your own goodest pup. This is the ultimate test of survival in the vast wastelands of Extinction. Joining the fray is the latest community voted creature, Dreadnoughtus, a true Titan killer. This massive beast lives up to its name, taking on only the biggest threats with a platform saddle large enough to carry your artillery and the ability to spit acid-coated projectiles. Dreadnoughtus will be your ultimate ally for taking on the Titans of Extinction. We cannot wait for you to explore Extinction Ascended and the chaos of Wasteland War. So, I'm really looking forward to this. There are a few things in these, in this little bit right here, that, LiveOPS, so, here that I wanted to highlight. So, the tech traits. In Aberration, we unlock gene traits, so I'm curious if tech traits means if things like the mechs will have traits. When you craft a mech, if it will have a random trait, or the drones will have traits, or I know they're not called defense units, the things that wander around the sanctuary area of Extinction. I know they're not called defense units, even though that's what they're called in the Overseer fight. And then I forget what they're called. I think it starts with the E. The Thylacoleo, like things that climb like Thylacoleo and can teleport. I wonder if they're gonna have traits too. I haven't played Extinction so long, I can't remember half the stuff on the map. So I wonder if they're gonna have unique traits. I wonder if they're gonna finally reintroduce tech creatures. So if the Tech Raptor, Tech Rex, Tech Stego, Tech Parasaur, I wonder if they're going to be reintroduced on Extinction. And I'm curious, are they going to be exclusive to Extinction this time and not end up spawning in on every single map, just be Extinction exclusive? That's pretty interesting. So yeah, tech traits to upgrade your weapons. So that'd be interesting how that works if you have like some sort of new workbench. And it mentions the help of your goodest pup. So obviously each Bob's Tall Tales has its own unique creature. Scorched Earth had the Oasisaur. Aberration had Cosmo. And Extinction is going to have one of its own. But we have no idea what it's going to be. Some people are speculating the Gorgonopsid, simply because of the controversy surrounding Cosmo and it being, stolen and all that. Which, when I initially covered that, I originally thought it was stolen. But then when you look at it from a more defining motion or legal motion of it, it wasn't stolen, because the creator of the Meva Eureka never trademarked it, never put a legal trademark on it. So technically ARK could take that idea and run with it without permission, because hey, you didn't put a trademark on it. So we can do this and not face any consequences. So they could be doing that with the Gorgon, because people are mentioning pup. Well, the Gorgonopsid, if you take a good look at it, it might look like a little bit of a pup to some people. So you never know. But who knows, it could be a unique creature. It may not be taken from previously community voted creatures that ended up getting shot down. And when it comes to the community vote, that is something also I'm interested in. Are they going to reboot the community votes and start doing those again for Gen 1 and Gen 2? Or are they just going to keep going with the ARK editions? Because here's the thing. The ARK editions, they haven't released any more since the Deinosuchus, which was back in, June, when the center dropped? So, yeah, so it's been a while since we've had an ARK edition, so I'm assuming the remaining ARK editions are probably going to take the place of the community voted creatures. They may have one more community vote for Gen 1 and Gen 2 and just say, hey, we're going to vote on a creature, and then wildcard, will decide whether or not it goes into Gen 1 or Gen 2, or if it goes into both, and there's just an X variant and a Y variant, or X variant and R variant, I mean. So, who knows how that's going to work. But this also indicates, since Extinction is coming out next and not Ragnarok, I was hoping it would be Ragnarok, but it's Extinction. I was hoping they would go with the whole back and forth. I'm getting the implication that I'm following the assumption that Wildcard no longer has faith in their third-party associate who worked on the center since their center screw up back in February, so I'm having a feeling that Wildcard is going to take on the burden of doing all the maps from now on. That's just what I'm assuming, because they were because they stated that they were. I didn't say they were disappointed in their third party. When they announced they were delaying the center from February all the way till June. But they did say how they were not satisfied with the way things were looking, and that's why they pushed the center back all the way till June. So that's the feeling I'm getting. That's the conclusion I'm drawing until Wildcard puts out a statement saying, no, we're still working with the third party, or until they say, yes, we have terminated our work with that third party and we're doing all the maps ourselves now. I'm hoping the next map is a non-canon DLC. I'm hoping it's Ragnarok, because I like the idea of going back and forth between story, non-canon, story, non-canon. I like that idea, and I think here's what I'm assuming. After Extinction releases, because they've already announced Extinction, so we can go ahead and safely assume Extinction is the next map. Will it drop on December 16th? Maybe, maybe not. But I think the best thing for them to do is get Ragnarok out there next, not Genesis 1 and Genesis 2, because a lot of people like those maps, but a lot of people don't like those maps. For me, for instance, I am not a Genesis fan. I'm not a fan. I prefer running caves or artifacts. I do not like the idea of having to run missions. And I think because the missions are incredibly frustrating. Even on Gamma, they can be incredibly frustrating and annoying. So I prefer the whole artifact thing over the mission thing. That's where I just had a bit of a falling out with ARK. I'm not a Genesis person. If they offer artifacts as an alternative to the missions, that would be an excellent change, because players would then have a choice. Like, you may have to work to get your artifacts. Like, you may not be able to run a cave and find it. You may have to craft a bunch of stuff and craft the artifact or whatever. But I don't like the missions. I'm not a fan. I think that just takes away from ARK. That's not ARK to me. So I think it would be great to do Extinction, which does have artifacts, then Ragnarok, which has artifacts, then Genesis 1, and then Valgero, then Genesis 2, then Crystal Isles, which is my favorite map, my favorite non-story map. I love it. I love Crystal Isles. And then do Lost Island and Fjordur. Or who knows, maybe do Valgero and Crystal Isles and then Genesis 2. Because the thing is, if you're going to push out content and you're going to say, hey, it's going to take... here's the thing. These maps are not as popular, but it's going to be easier to put them out before this one, which is hugely popular, but it's going to take a very long time. Let's say, for example, come January, they can decide between, let's say Ragnarok's ready and Ragnarok hypothetically drops in February. Let's just say that, for example. And then, let's say the next map is going to be either Valgero or Genesis 1. Let's say Genesis 1 won't be ready until August. But Valgero could be ready by May or June. It would make sense to put Valgero out first. It's not as popular as Genesis 1. I know it's one of the least popular non-canon DLCs. I know the center is like the least popular of the non-canons, and then I think Valguero's like second place to that. I don't know, I'd have to go back and check that out. I think that's how it was in ASE. But it would make sense to put out the map that's going to be ready next, because it's going to be ready, it's not going to have a lot of bugs to it, and the bugs that we need to fix, we can get fixed. Like, I think that would make sense to put out the map that we can get out there the fastest, that's going to have the least amount of bugs. Sure, it may not be the most popular map, but it is a map, so, you know, that's the way I would go about it. But anyway, I'm going to stop blabbing about this. Moving on to the LiveOPS, they've delayed their patches for another week because they are still looking into it. They have a custom cosmetic update, AMD driver fix, and then their post-launch patch next week. So yeah, then they have bonus rates, and then of course the community corner, and the amazing fan art. Which I love. Fan art, it never gets old. And then of course your photo mode. That's too cool. That's too cool. I love the photo mode. I think the photo mode is too cool. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you're looking forward to Extinction, drop a comment below. Let me know if you're looking forward to it. Also, let me know in the comments below, after Extinction drops, what map would you like to see next? Would you like to see some non-canon DLCs, or would you like to see Wildcard move on to Genesis 1 or Genesis 2? Let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.